Imagine an economy with zero central planning. Nobody is coordinating production. The supply of basic goods, especially scratching posts, is completely exhausted. Right next to this shortage, you have massive idle resources. Entire sections of the population are lounging around in the sun, doing absolutely nothing to help solve the production problem. To make matters worse, trading is wildly unpredictable. Yesterday, one fish bought you 2 balls of yarn. Today, it only buys you half a ball. The exchange rate fluctuates by the hour. This is the mess the newly elected mayor inherits. Looking at the empty storefronts and chaotic markets, the mayor realizes the town cannot survive on autopilot. It needs a centralized macroeconomic plan. Left unmanaged, this cycle of shortages and idle labor prevents the town from building anything lasting. The lack of basic goods and the uncertainty of the market slowly erode the community's quality of life, leaving every cat worse off. A thriving society requires a government to actively manage its macroeconomy, and to do that, you have to establish specific, measurable goals. The mayor tackles the shortage of goods by setting the first major aim: economic growth. Expanding the town's productive capacity, what economists measure as real GDP, is the most reliable way to create wealth and raise the overall standard of living. But a government can't just mandate, make more. The policy requires strict criteria for success, like setting a firm target to produce exactly 3% more output this year than last year. To hit that 3%, the mayor has to utilize all available resources. That brings us to the second aim: low unemployment. Leaving cats idle is a massive economic drain. High unemployment wastes potential labor, shrinks the amount of tax revenue the government collects, and forces the town to spend heavily on welfare benefits. The benchmark for success here is full employment. This doesn't mean a 0% unemployment rate. It means achieving the lowest rate possible, where every single citizen who is willing and able to work actually has a job. Defining these precise numerical targets for growth and employment transforms vague political wishes into actionable, measurable economic policy. The mayor's initial plan works perfectly. Everyone has a job, and the town is churning out record numbers of goods. But a fully employed population is a wealthy population. Suddenly, everyone has a paycheck, and they all want to buy premium goods, like imported catnip. Demand explodes, and prices skyrocket. Wildly fluctuating prices destroy business certainty. If local businesses can't predict their costs, the entire town loses its competitive edge against neighboring economies. To fix this, the mayor introduces the third aim: stable prices. The goal isn't to force inflation to zero, which can trigger a dangerous deflationary spiral. The goal is a low, predictable rise in prices that encourages firms to keep manufacturing. The mechanism for achieving this is an inflation target. The mayor instructs the central bank to keep price increases at exactly 2%, with a strict 1% margin of error either way. This blue table shows that setting an explicit inflation target isn't theoretical. It's standard practice for central banks across the globe, from Albania to the UK. Managing an economy requires a government to control the speed of its growth just as carefully as it generates the growth itself. Staring at the data, the mayor hits a mathematical wall. The core macroeconomic aims actively conflict with each other. When you reach full employment, businesses run out of spare workers. To attract talent, they offer higher wages. Extra payroll costs are passed to the consumer, creating cost-push inflation. Simultaneously, a fully employed population has high disposable income. They buy available goods faster than factories can supply them, driving prices up through demand pull inflation. You cannot push an economy to absolute maximum employment without triggering these dual inflationary pressures. As this textbook summary highlights, it is practically impossible for any government to achieve all of its macroeconomic goals at once. You have to make a choice. Governments must constantly recalibrate their priorities, shifting focus between these conflicting targets to address whichever economic pressure is hurting their citizens most at the time.